Why does saying yes to keep the peace eventually destroy the relationships you were trying to protect? You agree because you do not want them to be disappointed. You lend the money because you do not want to look selfish. You take the extra work because you do not want anyone to question your commitment. For a moment, the tension disappears. Then resentment arrives. Promises overlap, and the people you love learn that your yes means until someone else asks louder. Mara had become Director of Marketplace Integrity. The title gave her more authority than she had ever held. It also gave more people a reason to want something from her. In 1 week, her brother asked her to rescue his business, Brightcart asked her to compromise the trust pilot, and Ben asked her to keep one simple promise. Mara said yes to all three. Only one of them believed her by the end. Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is Wise Mind Stories. In this episode, you'll learn why rejection is necessary for commitment, how boundaries protect intimacy, and why a clean no can be more loving than a resentful yes. Owen called at 11:48 on Monday night. Mara's younger brother had spent 6 months building a mobile coffee business from a converted delivery van. The idea was good, the budgeting was not. He had missed an insurance payment, lost 2 corporate locations, and needed $8,000 by Friday to keep the van. It's not a bailout, he said. It's a bridge. Mara sat on the bedroom floor so the call would not wake Ben. What happened to the money Dad gave you? Equipment repairs. You said that money covered 6 months. It was supposed to. Owen's voice changed. He was skilled at sounding abandoned before anyone had left. Forget it, he said. You have your new job. You don't need this. Mara felt the old family role close around her. After their mother died, Mara became the reliable one. She remembered permission slips, packed lunches, and called Tom when Owen did not come home. Reliability became more than behavior. It became the way she earned safety. Saying no to Owen did not feel like refusing a loan. It felt like becoming the person who lets the family fall apart. I'll talk to Ben, she said. Owen exhaled. I knew you'd understand. The tension vanished. Mara mistook relief for the right decision. Boundaries, in Manson's framework, begin with a clear division of responsibility. You are responsible for your own actions and emotions. You are not responsible for controlling another adult's actions and emotions. Healthy relationships still involve sacrifice, generosity, and care. The distinction is whether the gift is freely chosen or extracted through fear, guilt, and emotional consequence. If you help because you want to help, the sacrifice can deepen love. If you help because you are terrified of the other person's reaction, the sacrifice often breeds resentment. A resentful yes is not generosity. It is fear buying temporary peace. On Tuesday morning, the Brightcart board reviewed the pilot. The product change alert had reduced complaint response time by 31%. Customers who opened the evidence page were more likely to complete a purchase. The early signs were strong. The chief revenue officer wanted to accelerate. We introduce a Brightcart protected banner next month, he said. All categories. Mara looked at the data. The pilot covers 1 category and 100 sellers. The banner drives attention to the evidence page. Protected implies an outcome we cannot guarantee. The CEO turned to Mara. Can you give us language by Friday? The correct answer was no. The system was not ready. Mara knew this because she had already lived through the cost of a promise moving faster than evidence, but she had held the new title for 9 days. Saying no felt like ingratitude. It felt like confirming that she was difficult, cautious, not executive enough. I'll bring options, she said. Another tension disappeared. Another debt was created. That afternoon, Ben reminded her that Saturday was Lucy's city day. 3 months earlier, After the missed recital, Mara had promised Lucy one full day in Chicago with no work, the aquarium, deep dish pizza, the planetarium if they still had energy. Phone stays home, Lucy said from the back seat. Phone stays home, Mara agreed. Ben met her eyes in the mirror. No emergency exceptions? Mara felt accused before he finished. I said it stays home. The book argues that commitment creates freedom through what it rejects. This sounds backward. Keeping every option open feels like freedom. Saying yes to everything feels abundant. But when no possibility is rejected, attention remains shallow. Commitment to one partner rejects other romantic possibilities. Commitment to a craft rejects countless easier uses of time. Commitment to a value rejects outcomes that require betraying it. Depth is created by exclusion. Every meaningful yes contains a field of no. A commitment becomes real only when it costs you an alternative. By Thursday, Mara had not told Ben about Owen's request. She moved $8,000 from their emergency savings into her personal account and told herself it was temporary. She had also developed 3 versions of the Bright Cart Protected banner, each softened by disclaimers no customer would read. Theo reviewed the screens. Didn't we already learn this lesson? He asked. We're exploring language. That sounds like yes, in a costume. Mara closed the file. I need options for the board. Theo nodded, but he did not look convinced. On Friday night, Owen arrived at Mara's house to sign a repayment agreement Ben did not know existed. Ben opened the door. Owen held a bottle of wine and smiled. The investor. The word entered the hallway before Mara could stop it. Ben looked from Owen to Mara. What investor? Owen's smile disappeared. Mara asked him to wait in the kitchen. In the bedroom, Ben closed the door. You moved money. It's from my portion of the savings. We do not have portions of emergency savings. He'll lose the van. Then he loses the van. You don't understand my family. Ben's face hardened. I have been driving your father to treatment while your brother sleeps through appointments. I understand more than you want me to. Mara lowered her voice. He needs help. He needs consequences. That's easy for you to say. No, Mara. It is difficult for me to say because every time I say no, you turn me into the person who doesn't care. The room went quiet. Poor boundaries often create 2 roles that depend on each other. One person expects others to take responsibility for their choices and emotions. The other person takes that responsibility because being needed feels safer than being rejected. Owen created crises. Mara resolved them. He avoided consequences. She preserved an identity. Both received something from the pattern. That is why dysfunctional boundaries can feel like love. They organize the relationship. Changing them threatens everyone's role. Ben opened a drawer and pulled out a small overnight bag. What is that? Mara asked. I'm taking Lucy to my sister's after City Day. Why? Because I need 1 week where the plan does not change every time someone makes you feel guilty. Mara felt panic. You're leaving? I'm creating space before we say things we can't take back. So now I'm being punished for helping my brother? Ben looked exhausted. No. You are experiencing what your yes costs other people. That was the emotional reversal. Mara believed boundaries would make her selfish and push people away. Her absence of boundaries had already pushed Ben to the door. The problem was not that she cared too much. It was that her fear of rejection kept making promises no human being could honor simultaneously. When your yes has no boundary, it eventually has no meaning. In the kitchen, Owen was reading the agreement. Mara sat across from him. I'm not giving you the money. He looked up. What did he say? This is my decision. Of course it is. Owen pushed the agreement away. You finally get the title, and now everyone else is a bad investment. Mara felt the accusation enter the place it always entered. The reliable one. The selfish one. The sister who left. She wanted to defend herself with the entire family history. Instead, she used a clean no. I love you. I'm not lending you the money. Then I lose everything. You may lose the van. And you're okay with that? No, I'm still not lending you the money. Owen stood so quickly the chair hit the wall. Dad would help me. Dad already did. He left without the wine. Mara sat at the table shaking. The no did not feel empowering. It felt like grief. Boundaries do not guarantee the other person will understand. They guarantee that the truth enters the relationship. Sometimes the relationship grows around that truth. Sometimes it ends because the relationship depended on its absence. On Saturday morning, Mara placed her phone in a kitchen drawer. She, Ben, and Lucy took the train downtown. At the aquarium, Lucy pressed both hands to the glass while a beluga whale moved through blue light. Mara felt the desire to photograph the moment. Her phone was home, so she watched. At lunch, Ben remained kind but distant. Mara did not ask him to cancel the week away. Asking would have made him responsible for relieving her fear. I understand why you need space, she said. Do you? I'm starting to. That's not the same as changed. I know. The answer hurt. It was also honest. On Monday, Mara entered the Bright Cart board meeting with one design. The banner read, Evidence available. The chief revenue officer frowned. Where are the protected options? I removed them. That wasn't the assignment. The assignment asks the program to promise what the evidence cannot. The CEO looked at her. Are you refusing to launch? Mara felt the new title, the salary, and the approval of the room gather on one side of the choice. On the other side was the value she claimed to lead. Commitment required rejection. I'm refusing the word protected until the system can support it, she said. If the company wants that language anyway, someone else should own the claim. The sentence could have cost her the role. It did not. The CEO looked at legal. Legal supported Mara. The pilot continued with honest language. The no survived. But even if it had not, the boundary would still have clarified the price Brightcart was asking her to pay. That evening, Tom called. His oncologist had recommended stopping treatment. The cancer had continued to spread, and the remaining options offered little benefit at a heavy physical cost. I'm going home, he said. Mara pressed the phone to her ear. Every instinct told her to fix, research, persuade, and seek another opinion. Is that what you want? She asked. Yes. Mara closed her eyes. Then I'm with you. This no was different. Tom was saying no to more treatment so he could say yes to the time that remained. Mara finally understood commitment at its deepest level. Choosing what matters means allowing other possibilities to end. Sometimes freedom is not another open door. It is closing the doors that keep you from entering the room you have chosen. Sarah closing. The answer to today's question is that saying yes to everyone destroys trust because a promise without exclusion cannot protect what it names. Boundaries are not walls against love. They are the shape that lets love become honest. Here is today's experiment. Give one clean no. Do not write a courtroom defense. Do not attack the other person for asking. Use one clear sentence. I care about you, and I'm not able to do that. Or simply, no, I can't commit to that. Let their disappointment belong to them. Let your honesty belong to you. If you want to see how Mara's choices come together, subscribe to Wise Mind Stories because Tom has made his final boundary. He is going home. Mara has spent the season learning what deserves her care. Now time itself will make the last selection and reveal whether thinking about death can teach us how to live before it is too late. Wise Mind Stories, quotable lines. A resentful yes is fear buying temporary peace. A commitment becomes real only when it costs you an alternative. When your yes has no boundary, it eventually has no meaning. Boundaries are the shape that lets love become honest. Next episode teaser. Mara survives her brother's anger and the board's disappointment, but Tom's decision cannot be negotiated. At home, he opens the boxes Mara has been avoiding and asks her to help choose what remains after a person is gone. The last episode begins with a clock no value, title, apology, or act of courage can stop.